Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Haley Domingo. And for my final project, I did a case conceptualization using solution focused brief therapy. And so, some things that really drew me to solution focused brief therapy, or SFBT, is that it really focuses on supporting and guiding a client along with collaboratively working with them. And so, here are some of the quotes from different articles that I used. Um, that really resonated with me about SFBT. And so SFBT focuses on people's competence rather than their deficits, their strengths rather than their weaknesses, their possibilities rather than their limitations. It also proposes that the development of a solution is not necessarily related to the problem. The client is the expert. If it is not broken, do not fix it. If something works, continue with it. If something does not work, do something else. And that SFBT gives hope to the clients, referring to the belief that the presenting difficulty will improve. The therapy process continuously and collaboratively ensures that clients have a sense of hope. And so, overall, solution focused brief therapy is very positive. It really motivates clients and really looks at their own hidden strengths to guide them into finding their solutions and building those solutions. So for my interview, the client that I interviewed is his presenting problem was anxiety, and some of his goals included managing that anxiety, especially at his workplace. He works very, very closely with law enforcement agencies, and just from his own lived experiences, he's always had negative contact with law enforcement. And so now that he's working at a job that requires him to collaborate with them, to go to juvenile hall and to go to the juvenile court hearings. These are all some things that he has gone through in the past, and it's really kind of affected his work ethic. And so some of the interventions that I used during this interview included scaling questions, the miracle question, and compliments. So with scaling questions, I used that in the beginning, and I used it because I kind of wanted to use it as an assessment tool to see where he was at for the day. He had just ended a very, very long work day, and so I kind of asked him on a scale of 0 to 5 how he was feeling for the day. 0 being, really over it, not wanting to be or wanting to be at home, and 5 feeling just a lot better, feeling more productive, etc. And then with the miracle question, I use this because I really wanted to see what my client's life would look like without the anxiety. He mentioned in the interview that his anxiety is something that he's always lived with, and that language where he was saying that it's something he's always lived with makes it basically a part of himself. And so I really wanted to see how this anxiety would look like away from him. And so I asked him, if you could wake up one morning and this anxiety wasn't there, it didn't exist, what would your life be looking like? How would you be managing without this anxiety? What would be some things that you would be doing? And so those were some of the questions that I was able to ask him. And I think that was really kind of like the changing point in our interview, because it really kind of made him think like, what is that like without my anxiety? And then also I use compliments throughout the interview because I really just wanted to highlight my client's strengths, and also maybe even give him a different perspective about his anxiety. He mentioned a lot that the anxiety was also could sometimes be motivating for him. And so by complementing his use of language in terms of saying that the anxiety was a positive, I think that really kind of unlocked or identified some hidden strengths that he already had in terms of managing his anxiety. So what I've learned, or what I learned during the interview, or looking back at the interview, is that I definitely think I could have slowed down the pace of our conversation, and really utilized the silence that was there. I felt like I kind of would interrupt him also, but interrupt him in a way where I was trying to summarize what he was saying, and that definitely would have changed the pace of the conversation. Um, and also, what I learned was that SFBT seems very, very simple. Asking questions like, how would you manage without the anxiety? Or what does you not having anxiety look like? All those questions seem very simple, but it's still a very, very complex uh, model, especially in practice. And I found myself really thinking about, okay, what are some questions that I should ask? Did I ask enough questions? Maybe I should have changed the way I asked the question, and so on and so forth. But overall, it was a really great experience to practice and to conduct the interview in general. I mean, I definitely enjoyed it, and I asked my client for feedback about the interview, just to see if he felt he felt some peace, or if he felt um, productive after the conversation. And so I think just overall, it was a great experience. And I look forward to utilizing some of these interventions in my own professional life. So thank you.